what is happening and what all the prophecies of the great wisdom traditions have identified is that there is a great planetary awakening that is taking place. And human beings in general tend to assume that this planetary awakening is referring to humanity's awakening specifically, when actually it's talking about a vibrational upshift for the planetary being, for the consciousness and physiology of the planet. And that benefits the individual cells or constituents of the planet, including every human physiology. Now, there are many, many, many measurable mediums of connection between human physiology and earth physiology. But one of the most important ones, and one of the least understood, is the crystalline grid of the earth. The crystalline grid does indeed refer to a network of crystalline structure in the earth, but it also refers to crystalline energetic structure of the earth. And it's an interface point of earth consciousness and human consciousness. So as earth physiology shifts and evolves, there are values of impact that this has on every human being. And one of the ways that this impact occurs is through these shifts in the crystalline grid of the earth, this multidimensional grid. That means it has a physical component, but it also has energetic components, multidimensional components, components that exist within different vibrational spectrums, some of which we can measure and some of which we cannot at this time. We have to look more toward the wisdom traditions and the ancient traditions to understand the resonance and the relevance of this crystalline grid. So this crystalline grid acts as a generative force that helps humanity to awaken. It's an interface point between Mother Earth and every human being. So as the great planet awakens, so each individual on the physiological level is experiencing all of this vibrational transmission that is impacting all of us in very real and in sometimes different ways. Examples of this vibrational transmission that's taking place can include a lot of destabilized sensations, a lot of destabilization in our emotional body, a sense of heavy reconstruction of what our sense of reality is, a lot of breaking down of the old and emergence of the new. As an energy healer, I've observed these changes that are taking place on a planetary level, impacting human beings in terms of our health, in terms of certain endocrine functions in the body. It is essentially a time of huge transformation, huge opportunity, and without question, huge strain. There's a lot of upheaval, yes, on a global level, but also on an individual level. And this partially has to do with these upshifts in vibration that are taking place on a planetary level and are impacting each human being in very, very personal ways. So we have this crystalline grid that on the whole is a very benevolent and uplifting force for our own human body, and therefore our own nervous system and our own consciousness. But the transition is rocky. This emerging fountain of clarity, possibility, and new horizons of nervous system function takes some time to achieve. And so we have this technology that helps to attune the human physiology to this greater earth physiology through the crystalline grid. And we call it Mahavakya crystal technology. And it is the heart, it is the core of the Crystal Earth Project. The Crystal Earth Project is, in a sentence, here to help make accessible and deeply metabolizable these cosmic frequencies into the body. These cosmic frequencies that are affecting the planetary system and the planetary physiology, deeply metabolized into our own physiology for our health, for our clarity, for our connection to our soul nature, and to the fulfillment of our individual and collective potential. So we have these crystalline technologies that use quartz crystal, that use copper, that use sacred geometry, that have received blessings from many wisdom traditions to access and utilize and even strengthen this crystalline grid so that on a personal level we can ground more, connect more to our full potential as human beings, and also access the divine self that we are, that has the mission of moving through our hearts into our actions, our behaviors, and into the world.